Go the bleep to sleep. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the show that is on the internet live at 10 p.m. Thank you for joining us, Mom.
Hey, everybody.
Somebody's a little late.
Look at that nice picture.
No,
This isn't working.
somebody's a little late.
Somebody's
Literally,
smart.
okay, every time we're about to start, I'm sitting here screaming like, 50 seconds! Every time.
I was busy.
What were you busy doing? And you got ice cream today.
I got my ice cream.
Yeah,
It's
we're
a
supposed to be having like an
holiday.
intellectual conversation, and you're just eating ice cream. Okay. Dean, we need a better tagline. I know. I'm working on it, Mary. I'm working on it. We're actually thinking about changing the name of the show.
Oh yeah, why don't you ask them about your
Yeah,
idea?
I feel like the show doesn't really like embody, like when you hear the show Go the Bleep to Sleep, right? You don't know like what's like the out, you know, like what's
I agree.
What's like the take? Like what is it that this show is offering that no one else is offering, you know? And so I was like, I think I need to just switch up the name a bit.
Okay.
So if you have any ideas, put it in the comments. I was thinking like Stupid and Dumb.
That's the title. No. I just want to be clear. That's the title. He wants the title of the show
To be Stupid and
Dumb. And I was like, well, which one of us is stupid and which one? And
then I said I was both. Yeah,
I'm not
I just
gonna
think
be
we
on a
need to
show
change the
called
name.
Stupid and Dumb.
Because
No.
I feel like it doesn't show. It's just a thought. It's just a thought. Okay.
Jordan's like, you're changing the name again?
I know. Somebody asked what kind of ice cream is it?
It is coffee, toffee, Heath Bar, Crunch, something, Ben
Wow.
and Jerry's.
Okay. Interesting. I think the name is fun. People are saying they like the name.
No,
That's
they don't.
a big
no.
no.
Nobody said that.
No. They like the Go the Bleep to Sleep name. That's what I'm
Oh.
saying. Yeah, I like the current name. Yeah, I just feel like I don't know. I'm still not set. Stupid and Dumb that doesn't exactly sound good. I know Savage Mary. Savage Mary did say before the show, I'm feeling a little more extra savage tonight. So, yeah, late and fluid show.
Extra savage.
So I mean, maybe we'll keep it as it is. I'm working on a sign that that will be like a nice fancy sign.
A logo. You're working on a logo.
Yes, and I don't want to like invest in a logo until like I have a set name.
Do you know how many
if we like the
logos I
name,
had
then-
before I landed on my logo?
I was about to say you had a ton, right?
If you ask Larry, we probably had 700. And I was like, no,
700.
this is who we are now. No,
Right.
we're not that anymore. Now we're this.
Yeah, it's hard.
Huh?
The sign would be better without tape. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so we're upgrading to a new sign.
Let's not get crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe we'll go with Go the Bleep to Sleep. I don't know. I felt like it didn't embody anything.
Something just happened.
No, we're good. We're good.
No, my headset doesn't work anymore.
Oh, Colby must have unplugged your thing. Colby's laying underneath you.
Okay. All right.
So yeah. So also to everybody here,
Colby.
I hope everyone had a good Martin Luther King's Jr. Day. Today was a beautiful day for everything. Everything Martin Luther King related. I think everything that went down last year in 2020, I think this day is even with everything that happened last year in 2020, with the whole Black Lives Matter movement. I think that this day is extra special. So we changed our background
I feel
to
bad blocking him.
feature Martin Luther King
a good
Jr.
picture.
So hopefully everyone got a well-deserved day off. We had a day off from school. It was very nice. But yeah, hopefully everyone. I saw a statistic that said that only about 42% of Americans get off on this holiday.
Yeah, it was weird. I was surprised that if it's federal, I don't understand why federal's not federal.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
understand.
people are like, I still had to work. My dream is for people to treat people with respect and how they want to be treated. Yes, I like it. Yeah, so I did some research. So MLK gave his wonderful "I Have a Dream" speech on August 28th of 1963.
Okay.
And Ronald Reagan was the person to sort of make, what is it today? Well, January 18th Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and it was passed. It was made in around like 1983, but wasn't fully recognized until 1986.
When did he die? What year was it?
I'm not exactly sure. I can let me see. When
I'm just wondering from like what year he died, and then when they finally came around with the idea to make it a day.
He died in 1968.
Wow, it was a while.
Yeah.
It was almost 20 years later.
Yeah. That's true. But yes, so hopefully everyone, Dean, Google, yeah. Thank God we have Google.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. But hopefully everyone had a well-deserved day off. Did somebody put in their miles? I was off. I have been arguing with a software company all day, even though I should be off today. Oh, I'm so sorry, Savage Mary. I go back to in-person work tomorrow at school. Oh, Irene, best of luck. Hit the thumbs up. Yeah, hit the thumbs up. Yeah, he died April 4th, 1968. And he was shot at 6:05 p.m. Very tragic. Very tragic. But he's a good role model. He's a good role model for a lot of people, and we learned all about him throughout. I learned all about him throughout middle school, like elementary school, and I think even now as like a grown adult, like I can still look back and be like, oh, this man did so like even because when you're a kid you're like, oh, Martin Luther King, like but like now looking back at it, it's like, wow, no, this was really he did a lot of good things,
especially in today's climate.
Yes.
So
yes.
So
it was good.
Yep. So what are we talking about tonight?
So if you didn't see if you see the title of today's video, and if you haven't seen the thumbnail, I'm done.
I haven't seen either.
I'm done.
Can you tell me what the heck it was?
It was a picture of me breaking a keyboard.
Breaking a keyboard.
Yeah, because I'm done.
Wait, I'm sorry. Whose keyboard? Because
it was my keyboard. It was an old keyboard.
Because I'm missing one.
No, it wasn't your keyboard. No, you're good. You're good. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
What are you so done with? What's happening?
Mary said, I am so done. It's pathetic. Did you actually break the keyboard? There is a crack in the keyboard.
I don't understand what you're done with. You don't do anything.
Mom, I'm done.
You literally don't do anything.
Done.
You haven't been in school. You don't do your chores. Your room is dirty. What are you done with? What is it that you're so frustrated with?
You got to let me get the done part out.
I'm done. I got a lot of reasons to be done. Yeah. I'm just interested to hear what your reason is.
Yeah. No, I lately I've just been feeling so crushed, so lost, so jealous.
You're feeling some kind of way.
I'm feeling some ways.
Done. I feel like you're not clear on what done is.
I guess. Okay. No. Here's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I want to get started in the world. I feel stuck. It's so hard nowadays because I go on social media, and whether I'm on Instagram or I'm on YouTube, I see people doing things, and I see people doing really, really well.
They're lies. They're all lies.
What do you mean they're lies?
What are you talking about?
I see pictures of okay, so like there are people who are they're out and they're making content on TikTok and on Instagram, and I see them and they're getting views. They're getting the views. It looks like they're living lives of luxury. All right. And I know you've told me stories about
lives. Did you say lives of luxury? Was this the rich and famous? What is this?
Yeah. But I remember you would tell me stories of how like when you and Dad were growing up, when you had just gotten married and you were buying your house.
There's 7 years between me and Daddy. They weren't even. There's Daddy's generation, and then there's my generation.
But you told me that when you guys were growing up and like after you were married, like you were looking for a house and everyone was buying these fancy houses.
Oh, big houses.
And I think that's the point in life where I'm starting to approach it, where like I see these people and I see kids my age and they're out and they're making YouTube videos and they're doing really well, and like they're having these really famous people like either like repost their stuff or they're moving out to LA. I just feel, and these are people I know. Yeah, like they're people I know.
Right.
And I just feel like
let me tell you a story.
Stuck.
Let me bring this down a minute, all right?
Yeah.
So when Daddy and I were looking for houses, all right? So I was probably 26. And Daddy was 33. And we were looking at houses, and this is right before the bubble, right? Dean doesn't know what a bubble is, but
I don't know
at the time you could buy a reasonable house and reasonably pay it back, right? But then the bubble hits, right? And the bubble is when the prices for houses went through the roof, and they were approving everybody under the sun for houses that the mortgage company, there was no possible way people that were getting these mortgages could afford these mortgages. So we end up looking for houses, and people were buying mansions, like full-on mansions. And Daddy, he likes fancy, right? So Daddy was like, let's buy a mansion. I was like, I know how much you make, and I plan on staying home with kids. So we don't have two incomes. And that was the other thing, is we had to make a decision. Anyway, long story short is everybody was buying very fancy houses. We bought the ugliest house that smelled like urine that we could find. And we spent $72,000 on our first house, right? And it was a hot mess. You couldn't live in it. You couldn't get a CO. It was horrible. But we could afford it. And so we would renovate it over time. My point being, Dean, is that when you are choosing to take your time, be responsible, learn skill sets, and live within your means and do what you can instead of putting on a show. I'm telling you, most of the people that bought mansions in their mid-20s went bankrupt, lost their houses. Like it wasn't sustainable. It was for a show. And I think it takes a lot, Dean, to just stay on your own course. Like there's something really important about having blinders on and just being able to say, like, that is somebody else's path. That's not my path. And honestly, I mean, all of our videos are really just about us being, this is who we are. I'm not going to drive around a convertible and act like I'm doing so well. And I'm going to be honest, Dean, in my life, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me, that if somebody is successful and you can define success by money or things or accomplishments, however you define success. And I will tell you that most of the people that are the most successful are not the people who are telling everybody how successful they are. And the people who walk around telling you how much money they make, how well they're doing, most of the time it's a show.
I think it's hard because especially in my generation, like that's what it almost feels, especially I think in media just itself. I think so.
Listen, when I was your age, they didn't have social media. You didn't have all these people flaunting it and putting in your face as if it's normal.
Right.
And I think that's why we started doing our videos, because when we started, so our first video started in 2010. And Daddy kept saying, why are you making these videos? I was like, I don't know. But everybody I saw, Dean, they were these beautiful Instagram pages. And they were these beautiful houses. And everything looked so lovely. And I would just look around our house. I was like, oh, it was there was no way I was going to achieve that. So I just decided, I was like, I got to believe that there are people that are living like me. And so why don't I just do that? And just I'm not going to compete with that. And I didn't want to, but I did have a lot of fun. And I was like, listen, I'm going to make up for my lack of money and I'm going to have fun. And I think, Dean, that the reality is that if you are looking to do this because you want to reach some level of achievement, you're never going to reach it. You'll never be gratified. And I think if you just do what you like if you like doing this show on Mondays and Fridays, I will sit with you and I will do it. And you will find other people to do it with you. And there'll be people here. But
I think the thing that's hard, though, is I think there's definitely a balance. There's the things that are fun, really enjoyable. But there's also those things you have to do, in life.
I say that all the time.
Yeah, you can do what you want to do, but do what you
do what you have to do
so you can do what you want to do. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think right now, it's so hard because, doing the things you have to do even just feels like a challenge in itself.
Everybody on the internet will be like, I don't even like brushing my teeth, but I
Yeah.
don't want them to fall out of my head,
Yeah.
so I'll brush them. Like at this point, Dean, you have spoken the most truth you have spoken. Doing what I have to do now
Right.
is the
Is
most
so-
taking the trash out.
Is
I'm like, it's so far away.
It feels so hard.
Oh,
And so I
it's
guess when I
exhausting.
see these people, it's like they have made this thing, like whether it's they're doing well, like making YouTube videos, or they're doing, and it doesn't even have to be social media. Like if it's like they're doing well just in general,
Dean, I don't believe that.
then it just it
Dean, you
it's
can't
like,
believe
oh, I
that.
can't. It's like it hurts. It's like I can barely like
It's
make
called-
my own bed or do my
I hear.
laundry.
That's called motivation.
You know?
I can agree with you that trying to find motivation in the middle of a pandemic, I will agree with you, Dean, is not easy. And when you see people doing things that are moving them forward and you can't get yourself enough together to, make a sandwich. I get
Yeah.
that. But I want you to know that everybody that's putting content out is struggling. Everybody is struggling to maintain that because, right? I mean, everybody is going through this, right? There are days when you can talk to me and I'm like feeling good. I'm like, everything's going well. And then there are other days I can't get off the couch. And then I go 91 steps
Yeah.
and it's not healthy.
Well, and that's my question. Like I guess my question to the audience is like, was there ever a time that you dealt with very serious jealousy, and that it impacted you a lot more than you realized? So, for example, I the other night, I'm up till like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and right before I go to bed, I scroll through social media, which is something that I've stopped doing, but this is something I noticed, and I would see people that I know like blowing up on social media, and like it looks like they're doing really well and they're accomplishing all their dreams, and I felt so like, because I want to feel happy for people. Like I want to be able to see those people and like feel happy for them.
But do you believe
But-
that you have your own path? I mean, that's what it comes down to.
I feel like, and I try to remind myself like, hey, this isn't the path I'm on, and like they're good. But in that moment,
Yeah, it sucks.
My whole body was like frozen, and I was like, it felt like why should I even pursue anything else? It's like they're doing so well. Why and like I don't know.
Well, listen, that's
I
the
felt
idea.
so stuck.
Dean, it's the idea of what they call getting out of your own way, getting out
Yeah.
of your own head. Sometimes the barrier isn't other people and watching them. It's you giving up and saying you're not even going to try. Listen, you've described stuff that, happens outside of a pandemic. And, there's a ton of comics I know. None of us are working. And you watch people do things and you're like, why couldn't I do that? Why couldn't I get it together to do that? And I
Yeah.
said to you the other day, there are people that have so many more followers than us that are doing so many things.
Right.
And I just think to myself, why can't I do that? Right. And then I start to feel some kind of way. But then I think to myself, there are probably people watching us who are just starting out and are saying, why can't I be like what Dean is doing? So if you think about it this way, Dean, there's always people doing better than you, and there's always people doing worse. And
Yeah.
I said this to Jacqueline, one funny daughter, or is that Brooke? I don't
That's
know.
Brooke,
Who that's
yeah.
Brooke. The best thing you can do for yourself is ride the middle and just say, I'm going to be happy for this person and what they're doing. And I would say, Dean, that the difference is what you do with that. Every single person here understands what it's like to feel that pinch of jealousy, but it's what do you do with that after? Do you use it as a motivation for yourself? Do
Yeah.
you just like sit down and be like, let me just feel this for a couple days? Like anytime I had like a punch in the gut that was so bad, I gave myself 3 days. Like if I wanted to cry for 3 days, I would let myself cry for 3 days. And on the 4th day, I was like, now you got to get up. There's no more crying, and you got to figure yourself out.
No, and I definitely have felt like, oh, let me try to use this as motivation. But I think where I fall is, then when I, because me and my mom have talked about riding the lows and riding the highs, and I feel like, using it as motivation, trying to use it as motivation, right? Your jealousy, when you crash, you crash a lot harder. Like when you fail, it hurts a lot deeper because it's like, man, I couldn't even live up to what that person,
Yeah,
what
but
they're
you're not-
doing.
but
you
here's
know?
the thing
And that's
is-
the thing.
No,
and
no, 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 no,
Jatin
'cause
did comment. He
we're
said it's
not-
less about jealousy and more about comparing yourself against
Okay,
others.
but
And I feel like that's true.
You're saying something different than what I'm saying. You're saying, you using this jealousy and using it to motivate yourself to do better than them. And
Yeah.
that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't think you're ever going to win if you're comparing yourself to. What I'm saying is if you feel that way, then you need to look at the goals you've set for yourself and you need to be better at what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because if you're like, why do you want to but jump in somebody else's game? Like, listen, there's a ton of stuff that can come by my feed or my life, and I watch people just go zooming by because they have success in something. Now, I could jump on and I could do the same thing they're doing, but that was never my path. I just saw it and saw some greatness. I thought maybe I should do that. But if you plan on taking everybody else's ride,
Yeah.
you're never going to be on your own. You're on your own
But
path.
how do you like, I guess another question too is, how do you, how do I say this? Like, how do you feel happy for those people? The people who are, because people who are sharing their success, like, are there ways that people, because like, I want to be able to see these people and say like, hey, you're doing an awesome job. Like even when we went to go see Wicked, I remember last year.
Right.
And I don't know if you remember, even that was like, I remember I saw Wicked and afterward, everyone was like, wow, that was really good. And I got super depressed because I was like, wow, those people are doing so much
good.
better than I am.
Well, Dean, I think
and I want to know, like, I am personally working on just trying to feel okay and feel happy for somebody who is doing well, and not get wrapped up in like the whole mind game of, oh, I should be doing better than them.
Do you want to be on Broadway? Did you want to be in Wicked?
I mean, if it happens, it happens.
No, but you didn't want
like,
it. Wasn't your dream to be on Wicked, right?
Right, yeah.
So here's what I say to that, Dean. Thankfully, there are people who are great on Broadway and great at different things.
Right.
And I think that what you can learn to appreciate is the dedication it took for them to get there. And listening to their story. Like, I find that most people who reach a certain level of success are more than willing, if they've put the time in and the energy, are more than willing to tell you about all the times they felt exactly like you and to tell you about the times that it went their way. And I can guarantee you it didn't go their way more often than it did. And, I think that you've got to really embrace when people do some amazing things because you can learn from them.
I do want to read this comment from Michelle because I think it's good. Dean, my son will be 21 in a couple of weeks. He doesn't like school. It's just not his thing. And he sees his friends doing great in college and he feels bad. But he works full-time at Wawa, bought a nice car, is getting a promotion at work, and has money to do what he wants. He just had to realize not everyone is cut out for college. Yeah. And I think this conversation goes even deeper because it's like kids who, because I have a friend who also dropped out of college, and and he even feels the same way sometimes. It's because it's like, it's hard now to accept that, like, hey, I just gotta do okay, and I gotta be okay, with what I'm doing, because it's so easy to see it's so easy to see the crowd and be like, I want to go there,
Listen,
and it's hard to do things on your own.
There's a social norm that says that everybody had to go to college, and we lived in that social norm for a very long time.
Right.
But just recently, I would say the last few years, you're starting to see more and more people, leaning towards crafts, being craftsmen, being service people. And I'll tell you, the pandemic should have been a huge awakening, because I'll tell you something, you can't get a plumber, an electrician, a drywaller, you can't get a guy to pull up your fence. You can't get anybody. It is pandemic proof. And they do really well for themselves.
Yeah.
And they're their own boss, and they have a great community of other craftsmen that they work with. And, I think that it's important. I mean, everything that we've gone through with Brooke and learning about the different ways that people learn. And I really do believe that there are people who are book people and there are people who are hands-on people, and they're equally genius. You know, there are you watch certain craftsmen when they do a trade, and you're just, I don't like every time. So I love my electrician George. I've known him for 20 years, and I try to learn electricity, and I'm almost positive I'll kill myself. But it's amazing, and it just comes natural to him, and he knows I trust him implicitly. And so I think, Dean, if you think it's bad, trust me, when in the last 20 years, if you weren't going to college, that was the answer. Why aren't you going? I think it's becoming, more and more, I don't want to say acceptable, because it should have been from the beginning, but people are looking at a wider variety. And they were saying in the past years, they needed these tradespeople, and nobody was going into it. So there's definitely, gaps that need to be filled. So, it's all kind of cyclical. But, I think, Dean, is that, that transition out of high school and into college, or those early years, are difficult because everybody's keeping tabs on what everybody else is doing. It's stupid. In real life, Dean, I have no idea what anybody from my high school does, and I really don't care. I have 2 friends. That's it. And, everybody's got to do their thing.
Yeah. So what I've been trying to do, because I've also been thinking, hey, like the jealousy hit me one night, and I was like, whoa, like I haven't felt this in a while, and like it was, just starting to, I felt like high school. I felt like I was high school over again, and I could see everybody, and I was like, yikes. So something that I've been trying to do is like, I Googled how to stop being jealous.
Oh, what does that come up with?
Because I was like, I can't be the only kid going through this, and I was trying to think, like, where do you go when you're trying to deal with this?
Where do you go? Is there an answer?
And so I Googled it. I said, like, how do you like stop being jealous?
Is it the magical forest that Daddy takes all the animals to?
No. But it said some nice things about like how to avoid. It wasn't like, here is the answer to curing jealousy.
I thought that's where
But
we were
it
going.
did saying, it did say, like, here's some things to help stop. Help prevent jealousy.
Okay.
And I thought it was good. It said,
tell me.
Spend time with grateful people. Put yourself around people who are very grateful for what they have, and people who aren't going to try to push jealousy onto you.
Or put you down for what you're doing. I remember when I started, Aunt Sherry and Aunt Sarah, who are my girlfriends from high school, no matter what crazy idea, I was like, I think I'm going to do this. They were like, I think that's great. But there were plenty of other people that I was like, I think I'm going to be a comedian. People were like, what? I was like, yeah. They were like, are you funny? I was like, I think I'm a little funny.
I think so, yeah.
And I'm going to take this $200 class, and it will be my career. Like,
right.
You can't say that without the majority of people who know you thinking you're crazy.
Yeah.
So I agree with that one. Surround yourself with people that build you up.
Yeah. Spend your time with some grateful people. I think that's good. It said to try and avoid things that are consistently making you jealous.
Social media.
So if social media is like a huge one.
So
what I tried to do is I got this book.
Oh.
I got this book for Christmas.
Okay.
What I've been trying to do every night is, instead of, because literally I'm always on my phone, and like right before I was going to bed, it was like, okay, what's on my phone that I can look at? And so instead of doing that, I've been trying to like write, to like slow my brain down and like, and doing stuff. Because I also thought like, I think it would be good to, jot down my feelings. What am I feeling feelings to sort of, try to think of different topics for the show and everything. And something that I wrote, that's actually the title of this video, is I kept writing, it's scary. I don't know what my purpose is. Am I good enough? And I said, I feel these invisible expectations. And I thought that was like, so like, ooh, like invisible expectations, Can I
tell you that this feeling of not having a purpose may last for 10 years? I wish I could say this was a passing phase, but there are people on here like, I still have no idea what my purpose is. I'm telling you, when people, I didn't start doing stand-up until I was 30, and I was like, I'm going to die soon. I should do this. And I feel blessed that I figured it out at 30. But I really felt tortured all through my 20s because I just was like,
Wait.
I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with myself.
I'm
What?
sorry. Savage Mary said, I'm going to send you some pictures of awful stuff to make you feel better.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Savage Mary. Sorry, go ahead, Mom.
I thought we were going to see Sophie's puppy.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to build it up, and then we're going to get to
building
Sophie's
up.
puppy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All
No,
right.
we're going to get
Okay.
there. Sophie's actually on Discord.
Why does Sophie
yeah.
say is no longer a dancer? Did somebody say something about dancing?
Well, I think she's inciting to the fact that, like, your purpose changes. Sophie thought her purpose was going to be to become this
I see
beautiful
that.
ballet dancer.
She is a
and
beautiful ballet dancer.
She is. She still is a beautiful ballet dancer.
Yes.
But she shifted, and I know you talked a
And
lot
now
about the
she's
bob
in
and
a
weave.
singing group.
The bob
I mean,
and weave. Okay.
who knows?
Yeah, no.
Sophie joined our singing group today.
Oh my gosh.
And she's the only reason that Jacqueline knows how to sing. Jacqueline's here. I'll say it.
Another thing on this list that it said to do is to give it time. So like you said, you're like, I need to give myself 3 days to get over this. It says to give itself time, because most of the time you'll have this, this feeling of jealousy, and then after a couple of days you'll realize, like, that person is going through exactly what I'm going through, and they might, still feel, the hardships of life. So to give it time. What,
Sophie
what's happening?
just said, me and Jacqueline are the stars of the group.
Oh my gosh.
Good.
I am very good at cello, but I don't have to sing good.
Did she write I don't have to sing good?
That's what she said.
I'm
That's what
done.
Miss New Jersey.
I'm pulling all the money out of your college for writing that.
And then the last thing it said is talk to a therapist, and I definitely agree with that one. If you if you have this, obviously I'm not an expert on everything psychologically that's happening in people's brains, but if you're at home, if you're like feeling weird and you feel like you have these jealous feelings or comparing feelings, talking to a therapist is the great thing. If you've gone through the list and have done 1 through 4, talking to a therapist might
I would like
be
to
good.
add one to this list.
Yeah, what do you want to add to the list?
All right, we only have 8 minutes
Drinking
left.
bourbon?
Well, then I'd like to add 2 to this list.
These are the list. Okay.
You talked about, I writ them. I would like to add to this list that, at 30, I just said at 30, I felt really calm. I wasn't good. I wasn't a good comic at 30, but I felt like I had landed where I was supposed to be. Okay. But I will say that I don't know that anybody, maybe like if you're Mother Teresa, you have like one true purpose. I believe that your purpose changes with time. And I feel like, especially with where we are, I said to Daddy the other day, or in the middle of the pandemic, I was just like, I really never thought that I'd be like the dirty t-shirt in my basement lady. Like, this is not why I think God put me on this earth. But this must be where I need to be right now.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you that if I was to look at the things I've done in my life, like in my 20s, I had a degree in biology, and I was like, okay, then I really want to go to medical school.
Yeah.
And then I decided I didn't want to do that. And then I got a master's in gerontology, and I was like, I'm going to work with old people. I loved old people, and I knew I could talk. And then I worked at a news station, and I hated it. And I was like, okay, this isn't my purpose. Then I started making babies, and I was like, I must be a baby maker. And I did that for a couple years. Then I found comedy at 30. And then I used to work at QVC, and I was like, okay, so I'm supposed to be a host. I'm supposed to host things. And then my comedy got dirtier. I was like, no, I think I'm supposed to be a comic. And then I was a warm-up comic. I was like, oh, I'm supposed to do this. And then I didn't like that anymore. And then I was like, supposed to be like, I really believe that the best thing you can do for yourself is to follow your gut at the moment.
Yeah.
And not feel like it's the end all be all. And
I think this is a good conversation.
be fluid.
Be fluid. That's true. Bob and weave.
Bob and weave.
And I think this is even a great conversation to have on MLK Day, because I think when Martin Luther King was doing his thing, I doubt there was ever a point in time where he was like, I'm doing this to be remembered. I'm doing this to, like he was doing it because he felt like it was in his gut that that's what was right, I don't
I
think
think that's the thing, and
yeah.
and so when I listen to you and sitting in the basement and doing your thing, and other people doing their thing, is that you just have to think to yourself, I believe you have to do one thing every day, like set a goal
Yeah.
for yourself and do one thing every day, and you may not notice over the course of a few months, but years go by. Listen, I still remember when we started making videos, and I still remember I didn't know what I was doing. I bought the camera and we started shooting things, and Daddy would say to me, like, what's the point? What are you making these videos for? I was like, I don't know. It just feels like something we should be doing.
Yeah.
And he just didn't understand it for the longest time. And so, when I looked back, we started in 2010, and then the first time we went viral was 2016 with Chardonnay Go. And it was all just because I felt like this is what we should be doing. And now we have the morning show and all the crazy things that go with that. But,
Yeah.
You just have to say, like, this is, especially now, this is where I am right now. And I don't, if you can do your job, Dean, and your job being staying on your own path.
Yeah.
And learning to be grateful for what other people are doing and happy for them. Yeah, Daddy's giving half master's classes all the time.
Yeah.
He didn't need to finish that. He wanted to, and then he didn't want to.
Yeah.
And then he realized he didn't even have to. He could give half master's classes all the time on a morning show that he steals.
Well, I thank you for everyone's kind words. This has definitely been a very loving show. And to everyone out there who feels jealous or feels that they compare themselves to people. Hopefully this episode helped give you some tools on how to deal with that. And I think one other tool that can help you, Sophie, get ready, is to pet and get a brand new puppy. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to Matilda.
Oh, Matilda!
Little baby. She's a little bit sleepy right now. I just woke her up because she was taking a nap on my bed.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
she's
my
so
gosh,
cute.
look at her face.
Look
Oh
at
my
her. This is everyone. This is Matilda. She is so cute. Look at her. Oh my gosh.
She's between 4 and 5 months old.
Mm-hmm.
She loves her cuddles.
Look at her. Oh my god.
Very different from what she is right now. She's so tired. She loves to play.
She does.
She's eaten up like all of her chew toys. And yeah.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
We're best friends.
Yeah, I can see
We're
that.
the bestest friends.
Oh, look at her face. Look at her face.
She's like, Sophie, why are you waking me up from my nap?
Oh my gosh. So yeah, if you are in need of or trying to cure your jealousy, just look at your closest puppy. Because that will
and if you don't
always
have one,
cure.
you can have mine.
And you can always get a puppy. But yeah, she is so cute. Oh my gosh.
She's curled up like a baby.
She is.
Oh,
She's
she's
so
a baby.
I had a lengthy conversation with my parents this morning about how puppies are better than human babies. They disagree, but I think puppies are better than human babies.
Oh my gosh.
She's so yummy.
Well, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Yeah, this was a really great episode. I think that it's really hard for kids our age, especially going through this pandemic. I think for people everywhere, really, it's hard right now. And I think having things to help you get through, one, the pandemic, two, through everything that is going on, and being able to see and compare to other people. I think it's important to be able to talk about your flaws and talk about how, because I feel like a lot of people see your success, but I think showing how hard it took to get there is also just as important. So yeah, Is there anything you'd like to add, Mom?
No, I think you did a great job tonight.
All right.
Great topic.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, if you haven't already, be sure to hit the like button. It helps us out and pushes this show to a ton of the entirety of YouTube, and helps promote the show. And if you aren't subscribed, be sure to hit the subscribe button. You'll be able to what was I gonna say? Be notified every time we go live, and you can. And go with us and enjoy a lot more of these talks and conversations. But yeah, we will be back on Friday night with some fun new conversations and some good talk. And hopefully we're still go the bleep to sleep by Friday. Maybe we'll be. I'm not sure. But yes, I'll go do the dishes. Thank you, Savage Mary. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And from all of us here. Go the bleep to sleep. All right, we'll see you next time, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay,
The
what's
Boy
the news?
Scouts
Tell me.
are attacking the Girl Scouts.
Like physically? I don't know.
Not
what we're saying.
physically. Boy Scouts of America accuse Girl Scouts of starting war. Now that is a headline. Boy Scouts were trying to change their name just to call it Scouts.
Okay, that sounds fine.
Girl Scouts felt sort of attacked. Boy Scouts were trying to drop the name in order to start recruiting girls.
Are they learning different skill sets? Like, am
That's
I
true.
still going to learn how to make a fire? Listen,
now I'm
you
gonna
might know how to make a fire, but can you make a cookie? No.
That's true.
And that's why the girls are winning.
Remember-
Yeah, I don't care what they're called as long as they sell the Thin Mints. That's what
true.
I'm trying to say.
That's true. You know when you're walking out of the Acme and there's a little girl there and she has a box of cookies, you almost feel like, oh man.
She's peddling those cookies.
Would you feel differently if it was a boy?
I don't care.
If you walked up and a
if
boy,
it's a drug dealer, I don't care who gives me those cookies.
A
An old
homeless
lady
person.
with one leg. I don't care.